In the future world, people's weight must not be lower than 250 pounds. Otherwise, they will float up into the sky. When going out to walk the dog, it has to be done in this way. Skinny people even have to carry a refrigerator when they want to go out. It turns out that the United States Star Wars experiment failed in space. Not only did it blow up half of the moon, but it also disrupted the gravity on Earth. This sudden disaster has brought a devastating blow to both humans and animals. Today, a family of 3 is out having a picnic. Suddenly, the picnic cloth floats up, and all the plates and baskets around also fly up. The mother and Constantine are also lifted into the air. Fortunately, the father, Atanas, is heavy enough. He holds his son's hand tightly, and Constantine holds his mother's hand firmly. This gives them a chance to catch their breath. Seeing that this method won't last long, the mother doesn't want to hold them back. She decides to let go to protect her son. We watch as she slowly rises into the sky and never comes back. Atanas has lost count of how many times he has had this nightmare. It's not just their family. All the humans on Earth haven't escaped this fate. After the gravity imbalance, the global population has dropped directly from 7.2 billion to 2.6 billion. Skinny people are too afraid to go out because once they do, they will fly up into the sky. If people want to survive, they have to block the books in their homes with nets and fix all the furniture to the walls. Constantine has been eating for 20 years, but he still hasn't gained weight. Even at the age of 28, his weight is still less than 132 pounds. So, Constantine can only stay at home every day. For this reason, his father, Atanas, has specially installed a machine at home that can maintain the indoor gravity balance. But whenever the machine malfunctions, Constantine will float up. And when Atanas fixes the machine, Constantine and the food on the table will fall down together. This unlucky kid gets injured again, but Atanas has gotten used to it over the years. Atanas is so fat, but he still has to weigh himself every day before going out. If he feels that he has lost some weight, he has to pick up a shot put to add weight to himself. Today, he needs to add 44 pounds of weight to be safe. He puts the shot put in his bag and then goes to work. In the future world with gravity imbalance, Constantine, whose weight is less than 132 pounds, hasn't been out for 20 years. He stuffs pillows into his clothes to make himself look fatter and more imposing. Then he uses a telescope to observe the outside world. This is his only connection to the outside. The man going to work has his bag floating upwards in his hand. He doesn't even dare to pee because he's holding it in. The angry wife across the way throws the man's things down, but everything flies up into the sky. There's also the latest way of walking the dog. People don't have to worry about cleaning up the dog's poop anymore as it all flies up into the sky. I wonder if Newton would jump out of his coffin in anger if he saw this. Constantine is really bored, but he knows how to find fun for himself. First, he plays a videotape of the waves. Then, he sets up a sun umbrella, takes off the weights on his body, and applies some sunscreen to enjoy the feeling of sunbathing on the beach. Just then, the sound of a car wakes him up. He looks outside and sees a shuttle bus stop at the entrance of the community. A pair of beautiful legs get out of the car. Wow, this girl is so beautiful. In this future world with gravity imbalance, this is what a top-notch beauty like Christina looks like. Constantine is instantly smitten with her. She has thick calves, a plump figure, and especially a face that is chubby but not greasy. The most amazing thing is that her weight is perfectly controlled. It's exactly 250 pounds, and she doesn't need any additional weights to prevent herself from flying away. She's so perfect. Christina waves at Constantine, and he actually hides shyly. In this world where being fat is considered beautiful, with his weight of only 132 pounds, how can he be worthy of the 250-pound Christina? Constantine quickly dresses himself up to look like a fat person and musters up the courage to write a love note, planning to show it to her the next time they meet. In the evening, Constantine cooks dinner. The fragrant lasagna is just served on the table, but he gets a scolding from his dad. This unlucky kid, instead of lying down and gaining weight, is doing chores. Hurry up and take off your mother's apron. Your top priority now is to gain weight. The next morning, Atanas weighs himself and goes to work with peace of mind. After he goes out, the bored Constantine starts flipping through magazines. There are all kinds of curvy and plump beauties in them. Then he starts daydreaming. He dreams that Christina is sitting on a swing and smiling at him. Christina is like a white swan, while he's like a toad that overestimates its own abilities. Constantine wakes up suddenly and vows to gain weight. Constantine is going to eat so many hamburgers at once to gain weight up to 250 pounds and go on a date with Christina. The specially made big hamburgers are filled with a lot of ham and cheese. He eats 6 of them first. When he steps on the scale, it's a good result. He's gained a few pounds. Just then, Christina happens to come back from work and greets Constantine sweetly. This time, he's much more confident and finally tells Christina his name. Encouraged by this, Constantine goes back to the table and eats 8 more hamburgers. But he feels like he's about to throw up. But how can he give up so easily for the sake of Christina? No, he has to keep eating. He manages to stuff 6 more hamburgers into his mouth. When there are only 2 hamburgers left, Constantine can't take it anymore and quickly calls the emergency number. Atanas receives a call at work, and it's actually from the hospital. Constantine has been sent to the hospital for food poisoning and is being rescued. Atanas goes back home and sees that Constantine has vomited all over the place. He knows that this unlucky kid has done something stupid again. Constantine comes back home after having his stomach pumped and endures the night. The next day, he opens the refrigerator but has no appetite at all. He weighs himself and, oh my God, he's actually lost 22 pounds. In the future, where being fat is considered beautiful, Constantine only weighs 110 pounds. He is completely desperate, wondering how on earth the beautiful and plump Christina could like a skinny guy like him. At this moment, Christina is downstairs looking for Constantine's figure, but Constantine hides behind the curtains and doesn't have the courage to say hello. He picks up a pen as if he wants to write something, but after hesitating for a long time, he puts the pen down again. Being too self-conscious and inferior, he doesn't write anything in the end. Christina leaves feeling disappointed. Then Constantine comes up with a way to go outside. He ties the refrigerator to his body. Just as he is about to go out, he happens to meet Atanas, who is coming home. The father, who has already lost his wife, is afraid that Constantine will do something stupid. In order to get rid of his idea of going out, Atanas moves out all the things in the house that can be used as weights and then locks Constantine in the room. Feeling depressed, Constantine tears up all the paintings in the house. He lies on the bed and thinks that his whole life is over. Atanas feels very sorry for him and then starts to research and develop gravity shoes. Atanas is like the reincarnation of Newton. In just one night, he manages to craft a pair of gravity shoes for Constantine. These shoes can prevent his 110-pound son from floating up into the sky. However, Atanas has another nightmare. In the dream, his wife turns into the grown-up Constantine. On the face of the son whom he has doted on for 20 years, there are complex emotions and a strong desire. Atanas wakes up with a start again and realizes that he should let Constantine be independent. After all, he can't protect him for a lifetime. Over breakfast, Atanas hands the gravity shoes to Constantine. There is a pair of love hearts printed on the shoes. Constantine is itching to put them on. Once he switches off the gravity balance machine, he doesn't float up as anticipated. He straps on the weight-increasing backpack, stuffs pillows into his clothes, and then heads for the elevator. When the elevator stops, he tentatively opens the door and then steps out boldly. This is the first time he has gone out in 20 years. The beautiful and plump Christina, whom Constantine loves, lives just across the way. Atanas sees this scene from the window and feels very gratified. But suddenly, instead of taking the stairs, Constantine turns off the switch of the gravity shoes, takes off the school bag, and pulls out the pillows from his arms. Atana sees that his son is about to do something stupid. He attempts to rush over and stop him, but the window is locked and it's already too late. Konstantin hasn't been out of the house for 20 years just because no matter how much he eats, he doesn't gain weight, and he will float up into the sky once he goes out. This is the first time he has gone out. After unfastening the gravity shoes, he slowly floats up. At this moment, he seems to feel a sense of relief, a freedom that he hasn't felt for 20 years. Suddenly, a pair of hands presses on his shoulders, preventing him from floating up further. Konstantin opens his eyes abruptly, and it's indeed Christina. Looking at her sweet smile, Konstantin also smiles, seeing that the son whom he has protected for 20 years has finally found happiness. Atanas looks at the photo of his wife and smiles with satisfaction. Just like this, the brave Konstantin finally wins the heart of the beauty and lives a happy life with the one he loves. This film is called Getting Fat in a Healthy Way. It's a 22-minute comedy short film. Although it's a low-budget film, the story setting is really interesting. The depiction of family affection and love is very delicate. In the face of the gravity crisis, human beings can also unleash their potential and strive to adapt to the world. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.